Okay, in this video, I just wanted to quickly take a look at some of the leaks that have come out recently for the new Lumix camera. And we know there's an announcement coming tomorrow, and usually I don't really pay much attention to sort of all the rumours and speculation, but I saw this pop up on Photo Rumours, and they kind of left a link into what they say is an old page that's been sort of, they put the product on and then removed the product. And it does look like it's genuinely from the Lumix website. So I've sort of gone in and just done a quick translation on a few bits and sort of taken a look at what's there. And to my mind, it looks like it's pretty accurate for what the camera's going to be. So we're sort of looking at a much more compact MFT camera to the GH6, because there's no reason really for those fans. We haven't got like the higher frame rates, so it's not sort of needed there. So it's a more compact version, and that's what a lot of people have been looking for in MFT anyway. Then a lot of people aren't liking the kind of bulkier cameras, so you can see it's a slightly different design to the older G9. They've got like the straight top where the control dial is. It's more the kind of shape and style of the new S series cameras, like that kind of straight edge. And there's a couple of changes to around the shutter. It looks like there's a kind of dial around the shutter, and you can also see that the top screen isn't there. So that's probably some of the most sort of major kind of changes it looks like in the body on the camera. I would imagine that top screen has been taken out now due to the probably due to the new rear screen. So if it's got the tilt up screen like the GH6, so it's sort of fully articulating and tilting as well. So all I've done is taken these bits and just run them through Google Translate. So you can kind of see in here, first off, obviously this is not right. It's not a full frame camera, it's micro four thirds camera, but I'd imagine they probably have taken this from a placeholder. That's the only thing that makes me at all dubious about this. The rest of it looks pretty legit, but again, I imagine that's just been sort of cut from a template and it's just needed updating. We've got the new 25.2 megapixel sensor on there, a new engine. So that is, pretty similar, if not the same, to the GH6, but obviously the sensor is different because it's got those phase detection points on there, and that is obviously the headline feature of this. It's the first micro four thirds camera or MFT camera to have the phase detection AF or PDAF. So you can see there it says phase hybrid autofocus, and that's a combination of the new phase detection system, the new PDAF, combined with DFD, the old contrast based system. So where it can use PDAF, it will, and when it can't, it sort of falls back to the contrast based version. And there aren't really many bits here, they're just top line specs, but I found it quite interesting to sort of measure it up against what else is there. You can see the burst mode for it's absolutely huge compared to some of the other counterpart cameras. You've got 60 FPS in AFC, that's a pretty decent burst mode in there, and it's got 8 level BIS and 7.5 level 5-axis dual IS. So it's the BIS there is actually slightly higher than the GH6, and the dual IS is sort of 7.5. So I mean, I've found that amazing on the GH6, so that's going to be really good for photography. And obviously we've got the specs here for video as well. You've got the up to 60 frames or 50 frames depending on what system frequency you're using, 422 10-bit video, and that's really good considering this is essentially going to be pushed forward as a photo camera. It's a hybrid, but it sits more in the photo line than it does the video line. And another great thing about it, you're getting vlog in it, as from this. Again, this may not be 100% correct, but it looks legitimate to me, and it looks like vlog is just coming with it as part of it. It's not vlog L, it's full vlog, and it's actually coming as the built into the camera, no additional purchases or anything like that. So I mean, that's really good. There's no there's nothing there to suggest that it's an optional thing. So a lot of the things here, like I said, we kind of knew it would be there. I think all of these top line stats for me, they're pretty much all what I was expecting. Obviously it's micro four thirds, same sensor more or less than the GH6 with that sort of larger megapixel count, the phase hybrid AF. We've got the dual image stabilizer, which obviously micro four thirds does really well. So, you know, it's only going to be an improvement, if anything, on what we've had. The C4K or 4K 10-bit up to 50 or 60 frames. Again, that's pretty much what I was expecting, because they're not going to go up to 120, because then that sort of eats into the sort of GH6 territory. And that really is probably where, I mean, that is the main selling point for a lot of people. The people that've got the GH6 and they want the PDAF, you know, they're going to be buying it for those higher frame rates and having that better autofocus, you know, as long as it's available in that. But that's a totally different thing, really. And then we've got the high frame rates and VFR and 10-bit, which is great. Again, you know, really good video specs here from that. And then the actual monitor on the back, or sorry, the rear screen on the back, again, it's pretty much, it looks like it's you know, pretty identical to the GH6 one. So there's a lot of sort of almost shared specs there in terms of some of the newer parts of it. And you can see it's like it's got the sort of rugged body, splash, dust and freeze resistant, along with the usual bits we'd expect to see, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And then there's not really a great deal else there, you know. There's a lot of things, you know, I'm still looking forward to finding out tomorrow. I want to know if it's going to use a battery grip, or if it's just USB-C for you know, power bank charging. It's, you know, there's a lot more to be kind of found out about it, but you can see here, like these model shots for it, these kind of mock-ups, it's using the 12 to 60, so it's being shipped with essentially the, you know, the same lens that already kind of exists, and that all looks sort of like pretty legit to me. I kind of believe that as a product image for it. There's no weights or anything for this, but I sort of feel like, compared to the GH6, that looks like that's going to be a pretty kind of compact by comparison. You know, obviously that there's going to be smaller cameras around, but I think by comparison that's going to be a much smaller camera body. The other thing that it's been rumoured to have, and it's not on this page, so again, I'm not totally sure about it, and like I said, I don't like to speculate on it too much, but they're saying that it's going to come with the real-time LUT functionality, which that would be nice if that made it into there, because then that says that there's enough processing power within the cameras to do that. So that's promising for potentially a future firmware update for the GH6, or maybe even the next iteration of it, if not, you know, an update. And, you know, that again, that's not confirmed, but if that's possible, then that would be great. That just sort of shows that the processing power is there to do it. So, you know, that's really promising. And all of this is really just looking at those specs. I'm probably, you know, it's not going to pull me away from the GH6, because the GH6 does everything I need photography wise, and it has more going for it video wise. So, you know, it's just that PDAF there really for me as like the sort of anchor towards it. But for my workflow, it's not a huge deal, but it gives like a really good promise for you know, future cameras. And if I hadn't have bought the GH6 and I didn't need those higher frame rates, this would be a really good option. You know, it looks really good. It's a really decent offering in my opinion. There's no pricing here yet, but I sort of feel like this is going to come in at a fairly decent price point, and, you know, be a really good option. And I'll be checking in anyway to sort of see what happens tomorrow in the event, because who knows, there might be some features in there that kind of really sell it to me. And, you know, if it's something where potentially I could kind of sell my older GH5 and sort of get this instead, then it could potentially happen. You know, I'm using the GH5 as my kind of B cam, so it may be that I sort of tomorrow I do think, oh, actually, yeah, I could get that over the GH5. I'm kind of yeah, I'm interested to see more about it, so I'm looking forward to the live stream tomorrow. So yeah, make sure you check it out tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good one by the looks of it.